Hey, this is Mrs. Giroux again. This is a brief snapshot of day 3 in art class. Sorry you aren't here today. Today we made our portfolios. I'm checking your My Progress Tracker daily, and you'll see that you're getting a highlight when you're here and working in class for your studio time and for your discussion and all the things we do during class. And you'll get a line through that date if you are not here and doing the work. We're going to talk about the visual arts rubric first, and this is one of several rubrics. So it has several different categories. Proper care and usage of materials. If you want a very high score in that, you can see that the student is going to exhibit excellent use of materials. In other words, washing out paintbrushes, keeping things sharpened, not dropping things on the floor and picking them up, care and usage of paper, being respectful about materials. A lot of the materials I bring in myself for you, and we bring in things to share with one another, so please be respectful and have proper care and usage of materials. That is part of your grade. Following directions, the project directions. If you want a 5, which is the highest score, your artwork will greatly display every guideline provided for the project. I have a lot of students that go beyond that and might even earn a 6. Composition and completion. So the overall composition of the image is highly consistent and the artwork is complete. If you don't have that and you're at the other end of the spectrum, the composition is inconsistent. The project seems haphazard and unfinished. That would be a 1. All right, the next category is creativity. The image is absolutely a product of original thinking. Okay, if you wanted a 1, simply the image is not original. Okay, craftsmanship is a word you might not be familiar with yet. You can look that up. Artwork exhibits an extremely clean execution. The student took exceptional care and pride in their work. In other words, everybody's going to do the assignment. How well did you do it? Are your lines crisp and neat? Is it turned in without, torn edges if it's not supposed to have torn edges? Okay, so all of those are guidelines for your basic art rubric, which is what you're graded on. Okay. And now we're going to talk about the language of art. In our class, I've got some simple vocabulary, and then there's a lot more complex vocabulary. It's all listed on the e-class as well. But you can see from this article, they're talking mainly about the elements and the principles of art. They're talking about composition, content, credit lines, and the subject. You need to know all of those highlighted words, so please read this article and look them up. The elements are going to be on the board as well as on the cabinet doors, and then closer to the sink, those are all your principles. And it's important that you're here daily because we go into these in a lot of depth. We reviewed why art is created. Okay, we talked about aesthetics. Oops, let me go up a little bit higher. Aesthetics, read that. Next we talked about morals and ethics and spirituality. Art is created for historical purposes, for politics, and so forth. We also reviewed why artists create. Knowing various purposes served by an artist does not explain why individuals create. Okay, and we had a good discussion on that. So give that some thought. The next thing we did was we wrote a description of a piece of artwork I held up in the class. And we learned about a 4-step critique process. It always starts off with a description. Okay, So here's our worksheet for that. It's all part of the artist rubric. It's in the same packet. Okay. So we wrote 3 sentences, 3 really good sentences, describing the piece of artwork. Okay. And you can choose a famous piece of artwork if you're going to do this at home. You can choose Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh or the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci. 2 very basic ones if you're doing this at home. The next thing we did was we filled in the concept map. This is all on day 3. We were very busy. So day 3, this is part of the rubric handout. This was filled in by all of the students. They went up to the board, copied the doors that have the titles of all the elements and the principles of design, and got to look at the door pictures. The next thing they did was they took a test. This is chapter 1 test. Okay, and it's multiple choice. Looks like this. And then you match it with those answers right there, and I'll give that to you when you return. We did not do this bottom part. Okay, and then after they tried or attempted this test, we discussed each of the answers. Okay, so I'm going to scroll over this a little bit slower since you missed the discussion. So you can look these up. See if I can get that in view. 13. Okay, and here are the vocabulary words we went over. Okay. And then we got our binders, which I told you about. Okay, they look like this. And we labeled our binder, the back sheet of it, okay, with our name. And then we drew a cracked brick wall from a video found on the line unit in our Pinterest page, and I had it up on the screen, and you can get that from home. And then our binder is starting to get full, okay, with various things. Art handouts to save will go in there, and other drawings. So everybody did a let's see, looking for one specific one. Where is his? It's a really nice one. Okay. And we ended with that brick wall drawing. Again, you can find that in Unit 1 on Pinterest, how to draw the brick wall with the cracks in it. It's a good video. All right, and we will see you tomorrow for day 4. Thank you. Bring in your work. See you tomorrow.